Good evening and welcome to Match of the Day for a privileged view of the FA Cup semi-final between Sheffield Wednesday and Everton from Villa Park and the greatest steeplechase in the world, the Grand National from Aintree.
Two goals from Ian Rush in the first period of extra time enabled Liverpool to beat Southampton in the other semi-final. But there was a setback to England's preparation for the World Cup in Mexico when defender Mark Wright suffered a broken right leg in that match, which will keep him in plaster for 6 weeks. The Scottish Cup final will be between Hearts and Aberdeen, while in the league, Manchester United are back within 2 points of the leaders, Everton. And in Trinidad, England have lost the 4th Test match against the West Indies by 10 wickets.
We'll soon want to forget that, but I don't think any footballer ever forgets winning this little chap on my right, although perhaps some forget just how they reach Wembley, because FA Cup semi-finals are not always remembered as classic football matches. But the semi-final you'll see now will more than hold your attention from start to finish, as it did for the capacity crowd at Villa Park and match commentator John Motts.
Everton come down the Villa Park steps just as they did a year ago, knowing the Cup and League double is in their sights. And for the 3rd year running, their fans have the opportunity to give them a huge welcome on semi-final day. Their team has won so much respect these last 2 years, and a measure of Everton's stature as a club is that this is their 21st FA Cup semi-final, an outright record. Sheffield Wednesday played their semi-final here at Villa Park when they last reached Wembley 20 years ago, and over 20,000 Yorkshire folk here today hope to roar them through again. Wednesday lost to Everton in that 1966 final, and they haven't beaten them since. The last 17 matches between the two clubs have ended in 13 wins for Everton and 4 draws. So the Sheffield following hope it's their turn today, and so does goalkeeper Martin Hodge. Playing after 3 days intensive treatment on a back injury, he captains them against his old club, having played for Everton here in a semi-final 6 years ago. And at the other end, Bobby Mims had a trial with Wednesday as a youngster. He later joined Rotherham, and it was for them he played his last FA Cup tie at Mansfield in November '84. Now he's deputising for the injured, unlucky Neville Southall. Well, the rest of the team news shows that Gary Lineker was ruled out this morning, and as expected, Adrian Heath plays at number 8. Kevin Richardson continues for the injured Kevin Sheedy, and 6 of the side have now played in 3 FA Cup semi-finals in a row. For Wednesday, Peter Shirtliff returns in defence in place of Chris Morris, but the hamstring injury received on Thursday has ruled out the influential Brian Marwood. So Lee Chapman returns after a virus to form a 3-man attack with Gary Thompson and Carl Schutt. Chapman thrilled to be back and playing against one of his best pals. Adrian Heath, Lineker's replacement, was Chapman's close friend when they were together at Stoke. So a sad day for Gary Lineker and Kevin Sheedy, both ruled out of the team through injury. Colin Harvey played for Everton in that 1966 FA Cup final against Sheffield Wednesday. And on the other side that day was a man on the other bench this afternoon, the Sheffield Wednesday coach, Peter Eustace. Brian Hill of Kettering taking charge of his first FA Cup semi-final. The rain that was falling a few minutes ago seems to have eased now, and Sheffield Wednesday in yellow. Chapman gets the first touch, volleyed clear by Gary Stevens. Everton defending the goal to our right. The early moments, always anxious ones on semi-final day. A lot of tension down there. Up goes Thompson, looking for Schutt. And Stevens had to concede the corner. And corners are a Sheffield Wednesday speciality. They've scored plenty of goals from set plays this season. Chapman has stood in the 6-yard box. Hart has also gone forward. Hart's flick on, Nixon couldn't quite make it, it was close. Gary Thompson. Hart has stayed forward, shut. Megson, touching it to Sterling. Couldn't quite get his shot in. Deprived by Van den Hauwe, actually. And here's Peter Reid. Good challenge by Richardson. This is Van den Hauwe. In the way was Megson. Ratcliffe. Well, the near-post corner almost worked in Sheffield Wednesday's first attack. The ball was flicked on by Paul Hart, and a taller player than Gary Megson might have finished it. And Gary Shelton got a foot in, and here's Thompson. Now he's onside because he was in his own half. It's Carl Schutt up against Mountfield. On his own for the moment, and happy to force the corner. Snowden will take the corner. Hart and Chapman are nearer to the kicker. The others waiting to come in. Goodness me, it flew right across the goal again, and once more Megson was the player nearer to it for Sheffield Wednesday. Snowden drilled it across, and Gary Megson now has been within a whisker of making contact right in front of goal from two corners. And Thompson was beaten by Mountfield, who covered him. Shelton back again to Snowden. And away by Ratcliffe. Shirtliff. Well, this appears to be a confident start by the underdog, Sheffield Wednesday. Forward by Madden. Sharp. Shelton. Tackled by Reid. Little back heel to Stephen. Sheffield Wednesday have been away at Lilleshall for a couple of days, preparing for this big match. Mountfield. Here's Schutt. He's got Megson outside him. And here's Shelton. And Mountfield stood in front of Shelton, and the referee put his arms by his sides and gave nothing. Gary Shelton was in a menacing position. Derek Mountfield appeared to block him, but the referee said play on. Heath's in the thick of it there. It may run on for Sharp. Laurie Madden. Ratcliffe. Free kick. Now Ratcliffe went through with a second challenge on Shirtliff, but it was the first one from Heath that the referee had actually penalised. Now Everton have an injury problem themselves here, because Trevor Stephen has gone down awkwardly on the halfway line and requires attention. Howard Kendall's concern is such that he's come down from the stand to the bench to see whether Trevor Stephen can continue. And Alan Harper, the substitute, is getting ready, and it looks as though Stephen is limping his way out of this semi-final. From the way he went down, it looked as though it might be a groin injury to me that Stephen has sustained there. And what a sad day for him to have to go off so early. They've played 27 minutes, and Alan Harper, twice an unused substitute in the FA Cup final, is on the field. Megson's in there again, away by Ratcliffe. That was Sterling, Chapman, and Schutt trying to get in behind two defenders, one of whom is Ratcliffe here. Hart. So Everton now without both their first-choice flank players. Sheedy was ruled out by injury. Trevor Stephen has gone off. So Alan Harper, for the moment, is in midfield on the right-hand side. This is Richardson. It's also worth making the point that Everton started the match without Southall and Lineker, so 4 of what you might describe as their first-choice team are now absent. And I'm pretty certain that was a groin injury, the way Trevor Steven went down and didn't look like carrying on. Schutt, Sterland, Chapman. Half-time arrives, as it so often does on semi-final day, with no score. The balance certainly in Sheffield Wednesday's favour. They made more of the play, had the better of what chances there were, and Everton lost Trevor Steven with what looked like a groin injury. So at half-time, as Everton go off, still hopeful of reaching Wembley for the 3rd year running, they've met their match and more perhaps here in Sheffield Wednesday. There's no score after the first 45 minutes. Everton have lost only one of their last 20 FA Cup ties. That was to Manchester United in last year's final. And it's worth making the point that their 2 semi-finals in the last 2 seasons have both gone to extra time. And Everton won them both late in extra time. Against Southampton and against Luton here last year. Snowed in for Sheffield Wednesday. Here's Shelton. Gets an early cross in and shuts in there. Ratcliffe is too, and it was Mel Sterland who had to take it as the ball rose. Nixon. Richardson was caught rather late there by Mel Sterland after he'd released the ball, and it's left him just picking himself up and holding his right leg. Nicely played by Heath to Bracewell. In comes Madden, offside. Ratcliffe with the free kick. Nixon's header out, Bracewell. Hooked back in. Snowed in away from Harper. Back in by Mountfield. Now Harper is onside. And he's got the ball over the goalkeeper. And Alan Harper, the substitute, has scored for Everton. 5 minutes after half-time. Against the run of play, Alan Harper puts Everton in front. And how well he took it. It's the first goal that Harper has scored for the first team this season. They talk about one he got against Liverpool in a Merseyside derby, but they may talk about this one a bit longer. He got free on the right, but as Martin Hodge started to advance, Harper, who did his trade as a fullback and is playing in midfield today, showed a forwards instinct. He lobbed the ball beautifully over the goalkeeper and found the unguarded net. And Everton, chasing the league and cup double, trying to reach the FA Cup final for 3 years in succession, have scored the first goal. And they've caught Sheffield Wednesday cold at the beginning of the second half. Harper, who's only on the pitch because of Stevens' injury, has opened things up in the semi-final. Listen now to the Everton supporters. They know this feeling. They're in the lead. Reid. And here's Gary Stevens. Sharp. Mountfield has stayed forward. Everton's sensing here they might take this match by the scruff of the neck. Kevin Richardson. Tight to the line, but he got the ball back in, and then Hodge might have been caught by Heath. Stevens. Sheffield Wednesday then, asked to come from behind after having had the better of the first half. Now it's their character that will be examined. Paul Hart has made his way forward. Peter Shirtliff will take the free kick. Chapman and Thompson are both in threatening positions. And Heath won't go 10 yards away. These are anxious moments. Everton having just scored. Hart is there. Shelton's arriving. Away by Stevens as far as Snowden. Back in again. Hart and Chapman. Hart's header. Shut! Yes, the equaliser! Carl Shut! 3 minutes after going behind, Sheffield Wednesday are level. What a reply! It was instant. The free kick wasn't properly cleared. Paul Hart stayed forward. The ball was flicked on, and Carl Shut, the man of the moment in the FA Cup this season for Wednesday. 2 against Derby in the 5th round replay, 1 against West Ham in the 6th round, and the equaliser here today from a 24-year-old who was with Spalding United a year ago. 1-1, and this semi-final explodes into life with 2 goals in 4 minutes. Shutt took it beautifully, flicked it when he was given the opportunity, past a despairing Bobby Mims, who had no chance. Now it's Heath for Everton. We're back where we were after some high drama at Villa Park, and how often in football a team who has just scored appear vulnerable and let the advantage slip. There goes Heath. There are 2 waiting on the far side. Here's Bracewell, and they let him go through. Reed! Sheffield Wednesday's defensive play there was loose. They allowed Bracewell to go to the line and could have only blamed themselves if Wednesday had gone 2-1 behind. Well, the Everton bench was all jubilation when Harper scored. Now they've sobered down because they've seen the equaliser go in at the other end. Well, goal scoring is all about opportunism, and if you look back at those 2 goals, in their different ways, they summed up the instinct you need to score. Harper did the simple thing, the precise thing, when given his opening, and Shutt sneaked in where strikers like to go to cancel it out at the other end. Thompson on the end of this, Shutt's there again. Turned well, and Mountfield had to concede the corner. He gets his shots in so quickly, Carl Shutt. And now Sheffield Wednesday will send Hart forward again. Snowden will take the corner. Hart and Chapman in near post positions. Shelton away by Harper. Snowden. Beautifully done. Nixon. Blocked by Bracewell. Shirtley. Sharp. Good interception. Heath's pulled away in the centre, and Harper on this side. He's a long way away from Sharp, who goes alone, and it's still Sharp. Brilliant run. Good save by Hodge. Bracewell. 2 waiting on the far side for a cross. Richardson. They're still waiting. It went behind Heath. What an inspired run by Graham Sharp. He made the interception to start with, somewhere around the halfway line. He broke and kept on going, took them on, and only a good stop by Martin Hodge, getting his angles right, coming off his line, deprived Sharp of a fine individual goal. And Harper, good-looking ball, trying to get Sharp in behind Laurie Madden, but Madden's quick enough to cope with that. Throw being left for Gary Stevens. Here's Sharp. Stevens again, Reed. Heath's made a run across the box, Sharp. Pushed off it. Free kick to Everton, and Bracewell thinks about a very quick one. Can't do it, Madden's in the way. Sharp and Mountfield waiting to come in from the far side. Indirect, left for Ratcliffe to drive one. Well, after his goal in the Derby match, it's worth a try. Now, Lee Chapman is going off. He's been suffering from a virus of late, and have Sheffield Wednesday got a match winner in Mark Chamberlain? He's certainly going to change the cast, because he's the only one of the Wednesday 12 today who is a full international. And there are 15 minutes of the 90 left. Forward by Richardson. So the Wednesday front three now: Thompson, Shutt and Chamberlain. That was Thompson, and here is Chamberlain. Hasn't had the best of seasons injury-wise. He suffered from an Achilles problem for quite some time, but he did score an important goal in the FA Cup against West Bromwich Albion back in round 3, Mark Chamberlain. Shirtliff. Ratcliffe. Here's Heath. That'll open things up. Well played. Gary Stevens now. Bracewell's made a good run. Stevens floats it in, and well intercepted by Shirtliff as Heath threatened. Corner to Everton. Mountfield, Vanden Hauwe and Stevens on the near post. Oh, was Mountfield held there? He appealed for a penalty, nothing given. Reed. Stevens. Mountfield still in the players. Bracewell shoots. When that corner was curled in, it looked as though a defender might have just had his arm round Derek Mountfield's neck. And certainly the Everton number 5 said he was being held down. All the tension that they'll be feeling down there reflected indeed on the field and among the supporters. Played forward, Heath trying to reach it. That was a good idea by Everton. It was a diagonal ball from Pat Vanden Hauwe, which Heath threw himself at, couldn't make contact. Thompson, Shutt, out to Chamberlain. Hasn't really been on so far long enough to make much of an impact, but he's in his right wing position now. Forces a throw off Vanden Hauwe. Here's Megson. Chamberlain. They've worked it back to Sterland. Trying to attack the line, and he's forced Chamberlain back a bit. There are still 3 waiting for a cross. This is Shirtliff. Vanden Hauwe, Bracewell, hooked back by Everton to Sharp. And a little bit of shirt pulling, but Heath is still in a good position as they build the attack with Gary Stevens. Good ball by Sharp. Stevens. Outside him is Harper, driven a little bit wide. Heath and Sharp in the middle waiting. Stevens. Bracewell. Stevens again. Bracewell flattened. Gary Shelton about 20 yards out. Now Everton, who've had these late winners from free kicks in semi-finals, have got Mountfield there again. Also Sharp, of course. 3 minutes to go. Stevens taken away as far as Richardson. Mountfield still forward, and Shirtliff takes it away from his own goalkeeper. Corner. Vanden Hauwe racing forward to join Mountfield. Stevens is there too. There is Stevens. It's going to come out to Bracewell. Richardson's cross. Mountfield. Sharp! No! Agonisingly wide. The goal was gaping, but it came quickly at him off Mountfield, and Graham Sharp steered his shot just the wrong side of the post. And that might be the difference between going to Wembley or not going there. Who can say at this stage? Howard Kendall knows it could so easily have been the winner. 2 minutes, Thompson and Stevens. Shelton. For the third year running, Everton's FA Cup semi-final goes into extra time. They've won the previous two. Today, Alan Harper put them in front. Howard Kendall looks cheerful, although that lead was wiped out within 3 minutes by a Sheffield Wednesday side who've made a true contest of this semi. So Howard Wilkinson is out there exhorting his players before they start the extra half hour. So in this first period of extra time, Sheffield Wednesday playing left to right. A replay would take place at Main Road, Manchester next Tuesday. Standing room only there. Ratcliffe. Harper. Now that is a good ball. Adrian Heath is onside. Sharp is in the middle. Richardson wants it pulled back. Here he is. And Sharp's got free behind Shirtliff. But Alan Harper, perhaps hopeful of a second. That would be asking too much, maybe. The ball finishes in the middle of the supporters behind the goal. A quick kiss. Foul by Gary Thompson on Mountfield. Sharp's there, and it's been turned behind by Snowden for a corner. While Everton are the extra time experts, and here they are on the attack in the first period. Reed. Stevens. Bracewell. Heads it back in. Richardson. Mountfield is still forward. Bracewell. Sharp is hovering dangerously. Goal! What a finish by Graham Sharp. 8 minutes into extra time. Everton are back in the lead. It was a good diagonal ball, but Sharp finished that majestically. And scores to send the Evertonians back into raptures and to give them the sniff of Wembley again. Sheffield Wednesday, thanks to Graham Sharp, are asked to come from behind for the second time. What a volley! They talk about spectacular goals. That one will be remembered for quite some time. They'll talk about Sharp's finish there, but they'll also talk the Everton camp, I'm sure, about the way that Paul Bracewell delivered the pass. It was accurate, it was penetrating, and Sharp made it absolutely conclusive. This is Bracewell. There he is again. And Gary Megson, they've got a beaver away now, and they've got Chamberlain free. Three waiting in the centre for Wednesday. Can he pick his man? Another chance. All a bit messy, but a corner. A corner to Sheffield Wednesday. And it's going to come out to Gary Shelton. He left it for Schutt, who in turn found Shirtliff. Good effort, and beautifully picked out by Bobby Mims. But when you look at that shot from Shirtliff again, you'll see there was an Everton player on both posts. They'd held their ground to cover their keeper in case. The last minute of the first period. Shirtliff. Richardson, a good ball. Adrian Heath. Sharp's making a run across the box now. He's checked a bit. It's still Heath. And Reed comes in, and Sheffield Wednesday clear with Sterling. Back by Mountfield. Offside given. Forward by Shelton. That's dangerous. Mountfield, and Chamberlain's in there. He's still there, and so's Thompson here. Oh, he might have done better. Gary Thompson. Let's give the goalkeeper some credit for making the save, but it was Mountfield who was uncertain, Chamberlain who pestered him, and Thompson who put his shot rather nearer to the keeper than he might have wished. And that happened right at the end of the first period of extra time, and Graham Sharp, who missed a chance towards the end of the 90 minutes, is the man whose goal has put Wembley in Everton's sights again. So now, Everton, 15 minutes away from their third successive FA Cup final, which would equal Arsenal's feat in 78, 79 and 80. Kevin Sheedy grinning there, he's on the injured list. Trevor Stephen behind him, and Lineker too. But Howard Kendall's seen all this before. Extra time in an FA Cup semi-final, almost an annual event for these people. But they're in a position here where they've got to do some defending yet, as Sheffield Wednesday seek a second equaliser. It's going to be Snowden with the free kick for Wednesday. Hart is calling on the far side. Here he comes now, Paul Hart, and Shelton's in there with Stevens. Corner. Snowden to take it. And Hart's there again, and Megson's there! And on the roof of the net from Gary Megson. Against the club for whom he played in a semi-final, Gary Megson, back in 1980. He was substituted and disappointed that day, and he'll be disappointed there that that couldn't have crept under the bar. Vanden Hauwe forward. It was a tentative start to this semi-final by Everton, but my word, they've come strong. Oh, and Reed has got the better of Madden, and Shelton had to cover. Come on, says Peter Eustace, get the ball back in play. Shirtliff for Sheffield Wednesday, across to Snowden. Hart is playing now as virtually a full-time attacker up there. Wednesday have sacrificed the extra central defender to try and get the equaliser. Madden looking for Chamberlain. Inside to Sterling. Chamberlain again. Thompson! It was a chance. It just fell for him to shoot from Chamberlain's approach work, but things at the moment just not going Wednesday's way. Free kick to Everton. Shirtliff didn't like the decision, but not much is going Wednesday's way for now. Everton have got just what they wanted. The chance to stay on the attack, to kill a few precious seconds. They won't be risking too many men forward here. In fact, Derek Mountfield has stayed back in defence for this free kick. Ratcliffe and Reid, the players closest to the ball, and Reid organising things. This is Ratcliffe. Out to Harper, into Heath. Reid. Heath again. Harper. Reid. Still Peter Reid. What a good little run. And it took 3 defenders to get the ball off him. We're in the last minute. Ratcliffe. Offside. The Evertonians thought it was the final whistle, but it's not, you know. Players asking the referee how long there is to go. Thompson heads on. And Everton have reached the FA Cup final for the 3rd year running. Only the 2nd club to do so this century. Graham Sharp's winning goal proves decisive in extra time. Neville Southall on crutches. One of those, along with Trevor Stephen there, who can only stand and observe the celebrations this time, because Everton, with their old goalkeeper Martin Hodge disappointed, Everton and Howard Kendall can continue to pursue their dream of the League and Cup double. And when they get to their dressing room, they're going to find out that we've got the first ever Merseyside FA Cup final between Everton and Liverpool. And all Sheffield Wednesday can do is experience the desolation that always envelops the losers on semi-final day. They fought hard, they started well, but in the end, it wasn't quite enough. Everton